You already know what time it is. And if you don't, well, you'll figure it out. Oh, dude, don't move that much. Wait. Hello, Light General. Oh, I gotta get this. Clearly, the most important thing is style points. I'm moving too much. I get my taps. Warm up. You filthy crap. Everyone's favorite spell in the entire game, the entire series at that. There's a lot of other things in a run that could threaten to claim my runs. Plus, this spell is actually free. Like, Fearless Wind God has plenty of problems, for show, but... You know, I lose more runs to, you know, non-Fearless Wind God than Fearless Wind God. In fact, yesterday, I was 3-0 on Fearless Wind God in the middle of runs. If I was betting, I would put more money on Saruta Cross or Kaneko. For that matter. Of, like, late-game threats. Not that Fearless Wind God's necessarily easier than everything else, but... know it's a much bigger, like, you know, scope, a much bigger area, but I feel like on pace, I'm more likely to lose a life at some point on Kaneko than Fearless with God. Kaneko day. I mean, that was yesterday. I lost a run to Kaneko, so... Although, you know what? If I'm getting all the way to getting a run to Kaneko, that's already pretty damn good. Whoa. Like, this attack is plenty capable of wiping. In fact, I did wipe this attack. Too much. The hugging strats, the hug Kaneko strats. Maybe that's the way to play the game. You know, I guess I should do some of this. Thirty-one seconds is pretty good, though. Next time I get here on pace, I'm gonna try to force a micro, and it's disastrously. Oh, why would I do that to myself? You ran into Satori. Did you run into Satori? Yeah. I did show up on my Nuzlocke that you can kind of abuse them. However. Win this theme die. I mean, what I did was I brought like Chirno and taught her I taught her 2 different trap moves and 2 different like non-damaging garbage moves. I led with her, and then I just turn 1, switched to Ellie in the back, set up, while the AI was just constantly putting down traps, and then I just won because I took advantage of the AI. I literally brought 2 puppets, 1 to set up, 1 to put on spikes. Leave the spike setter up in the front, switch to the setup user. The AI is going to set up the spikes, so you just go off. Generally, the ways to do a mirror fight like that are either A, do some sort of mechanic where you're taking advantage of the ineptitudes of the AI, wherever you can exploit it, or you just gotta play an honest-to-God mirror match, and that is not fun. Like, I'll say this, even, like, I can care for a little bit of competitive Pokemon. I care for VGC much more than single player, or than, like, the 1v1 formats, the Smogon ones, but I've dabbled in them. Oh boy, mirror matches are the most, easily my least favorite thing. Hey, I slept with her twice. I don't know the details, but apparently there's a chance. There's ways to make it happen again. Probably a chance-based event. What type of mythological creatures are the Satoris? I only know of the existence of them through Touhou. So I'm curious of, you know, what if they have, like, egg-laying abilities? Are mind-reading monkey-like monsters? Okay, something tells me they probably don't. I mean, they're technically yokai, so you just never know. I don't see any information online that would help me with that one. Tragic. Okay, let's go do some runs. Oh, I grade an item. It's me recover. Hey, we got the early fairy. Huge. Plus 100 faith. However, because my cancels were bad, I have actually a little bit less faith than sometimes I normally would here. Okay, good cancel. Huge. Not the best cancel there. The world record might beat you over. Yeah, still 233 is pretty damn good here. That was a little sketchier than it normally should be, but it's fine. I cut back away earlier than I usually tend to. Hey, I can hit, what, 403? You're bad. She doesn't care. She just wants to sleep. Ooh, 720? Or 720, 72? Did she get here? Eat nice. Stage 3. Hydro camouflage, my beloved. Well, oh, we gotta get the hydro first. Healing. I did not want to have to do that next wave. Okay, well, there's a second wave that I did pretty nicely in figuring out my knife to the left, but fortunately, she was pretty generous throughout it. She never really went too low. I'm just so bad at these wall fairies. Good luck, Purple Owl. Ooh, only 195 fades. Don't think I'm getting world record with this one. Eight? 232, so I'm actually like only 1,000 less than I had last run. And we all know that score is the most important part of a survival run. Okay, I actually did that faith manipulation slightly better, though, so I'm above last run now. Ha ha ha. Boom, like that 408. What can I hit here? 72.5? I lost some faith there. And I grade an item. Oh, it's 72.3 only because of that. Really? Fama, I hate to break this to you, but I thought owls were nocturnal. Also, hello, Fama. I'm no zoologist. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with most of my animals, you know, so I don't know all their habitats, but I That being said, now that I think about it, owls are birds, and that means they lay eggs as well. Are we gonna get our owl fellow character? We need more birds. Oh, we got our crows and ravens, and then whatever the hell this is. Night Sparrow. Not the eggs again. I will never stop the egg conversation. Dude, I thought they said who. Wait, that's a Pokemon. Okay, she's just giving me, like, the easiest Hydros you've ever seen. Oop. It's fine. Yeah, I'm getting the easiest Hydros you ever see just to throw them to these stupid wall fairies. Streaming. I've seen people playing Fantasy Maiden Wars. Just because they're not right now. You know, it doesn't mean that, but what is wrong with me and these freaking wall fairies? Why can't I do them normally? Why do I have to do the dumbest fucking micro? I just threw it across. I just threw it across all the time anyway. I mean, I'll be playing Fantasy Bay Wars tomorrow, so, you know, just wait for that. But Touhou's not that big of a streaming category, per se. And outside of, like, Naro and Asprey, there's really not much... I don't know how many other people really do much fan... Like, I feel like it's like most everyone else who streams Touhou usually just plays the main games. Dozens of streamers. Well, you'd kind of be pushing if you're looking for dozens of streamers in Touhou regardless. What's other backlog? Well, sure, you can watch me struggle at it. Ooh, shoddy. I mean, like, to be fair, like, when it comes down to like Touhou content as well, it's like the two big people who stream the fan games, being Asprey and Naro, are easily the two biggest, like, Touhou people on Twitch anyway. So nice. Oh yeah, I know that like other people do play. I've seen them, but like when you go about browsing, you know, Touhou on Twitch, whether it be the main games or fan games, to be honest, there's not like a ton. Touhou's not a very highly streamed category, I feel. Like, just generally speaking. I feel like most Touhou is very popular, but I feel like it's popular in other spheres. New game. Well, are you talking about other Touhou games, or are you talking about other Touhou popular games, or are you talking about popular games as a whole? Hey, Stage 4, by the way, Stage Hopes and Dreams and whatever else. Fearless Wind Gods. Fearless Wind Gods actually free, though. My way to sketchify things. Oop. So really Steam, yeah, but like I said, like Touhou's not most Touhou content online is just not like I'm talking like content creation is not a very popular thing for as popular as Touhou is. I'm talking about, like, videos and such. Shoddy. Whoa there, girl. Fuck, that was free, too. I should have just got it right earlier. I had to go right late, but I didn't. I think it's a new one, but as far as I know, what I'm pretty sure is they like release like a complete like edition more or less per se, which is just a collection of which, as far as I know, it's just like a fully translated thing with like all of it combined. I feel like there may be new content involved, but I'm not exactly familiar. I've known of the existence of Fantasy Maiden Wars, but I heard a while ago that this, like, complete edition or whatever it was getting worked on, so I was like, I'll wait till it comes out to play it on stream. And it came out, like, a week or two ago. Was it earlier this week, or was it last week? I'm not sure, remember off the top of my head. And I was like, I'll play it, but I was waiting until I was done with my puppet dance. want to delay the non-1 until she shoots out the red bullets because it gives you a better cancel, or... See, what I'm waiting for is the full version. Really? What I'm waiting for is the full version of that that Minariko farming game. That's what I'm waiting for. Scarlet content. What do you mean by Scarlet content? Fucking Remy out here fucking making YouTube videos. Remy Scarl decided to go off her boredom. Instead of making Red Mist, she's just fucking streaming on Twitch. Yeah, but another thing about Fantasy Maiden Wars, to be fair as well, is that it has existed for a while. At least a good chunk of it, right? Like, it's existed. That's just part of people. Dude, you know how many Touhou fans would love to get Master Sparked by Yuka? Yeah, you boomer. You get back to your retirement home. That's not a good cancel. I mean, it was an okay cancel, I should say. But some of it also might be just the time of day, right? It's a Saturday, I don't know what... When it comes down to other people who do Touhou stuff, who stream Touhou. I don't know their exact schedules and such, but... I feel at the very least for, like, Western, you know, Western people. Like, I stream 2 p.m. my time, but I feel like a more common thing, if you're at least in the West, you're probably streaming late afternoon to evening. PBT, yeah. Somebody gotta play that. Cognitive behavioral therapy. The classic, the GOAT. Metroidvania game. There's a bunch of, or there's at least a handful, a good handful of Touhou Metroidvanias, so you'd have to be more precise. To be honest, the only Touhou Metroidvanias I'm particularly familiar with are Luna Knights and whatever the Touhouvania game was with like the edgier like art style. I don't actually know exactly what the name is off the top of my head, but it might just be called like Touhouvania or something if I'm not mistaken. But it's not really an art style I know there's a Yuka platforming type game. I've seen it before. But I'm not super familiar with that type of genre of game. I'm usually much more into the JRPG, the turn-based JRPG style, like Devil of Decline. Devil of Decline, Labyrinth, where's Labby Try? Any year now for sure. You know, Fantasy Maiden Wars, that type of thing. Fang. Artificial Dream in Arcadia. There's a Suika cooking game? Speaking of which, whenever I finish I Ace Attorney, should probably be in a couple weeks on that slot. I do intend to go through the Mystia's Izakaya roguelike mode. But exactly. Another Yuka game I can think of off the top of my head is there is a Harvest Yuka, which I'm interested to touch at some point, because it's a genre of game I quite enjoy. Even if it's not like the highest quality looking game, it still looks like it's something I could just stick around with and have fun in. What? She said Toyid withdrawals. Duly noted. Oh, sweet. Good game? Yeah, it's called 7.5. It's immaterial and missing power. I'm just waiting for more egg laying Touhou games. Need to start building up that genre. Oh, that was bad. Cancelled. Rest in peace, Faith Run. No, it's also probably bad cancel. You should probably, on the second non, I think it's probably better to cancel the blue bullets than the red bullet. Than to wait for the red bullets. But I'm not actually the most confident with not to. We need more Kutaka action. Although we also know that, I don't know if I'd say optimizing, and more just, you know, it's one of those things I think about. You know, because stage 1, there's not, like, a lot of... Yeah, stage 1, you know, I do a lot of thinking of cancels on attacks because there's not a whole lot else to focus on at times. Especially when you're doing stage 1 for the 1000th time. But now we know that about other stuff. I gotta know, like, where's the Chen egg laying game? Come on. Michael Cat? Yo, imagine. As we all know, Michael Cat lays golden eggs. Damn, 404 still, so you know, despite the bad cancels, that was a really good midsection there. And it was a very solid bumper crop in terms of redeeming my faith value. Damn, that 72.6? Yeah, damn. We come back from these. See, I've never actually done this on Non-2 for Hina, but I've also been concerned, like, if after I cap this spell, if I can briefly, like, go to the, like, hit the top of the screen to pick up items, but how fast Non-2 starts, I've always been concerned about actually trying that. Oh, look at those, look at all that score! Oh, it all went to waste. Oh, it's kind of covert. Yeah, most people don't necessarily have the patience to try to grind LNNs. Not that that's a bad thing. I've really decided, what if I went for the Baby's Gap? Yeah, items I need to know where is die of blame you. Got it. That's easy. Yeah, I mean most people who play Touhou probably just do it, but better be mindful. Yeah, I mean, like there are a number of attacks where I do, and there's a number of attacks where I don't. I honestly haven't really done it that... Like, I did it a lot in PCB, and I haven't really done it much since. Because in SA, I just, like, you know, stop pressing buttons and I grab everything, because Rainbow B is broken. And in this game, I kind of haven't, like, picked... I've done it, like, a little bit. But only on, like, some attacks. That is one aspect that I love of Rainbow B, even as, like, meaningless as it is. Just be able to pick up all the items. Oh, it's up drinking. Right, would be, of course. It just helps that I love Touhou as a whole. Like, Touhou content across... Akihuman. Like, Touhou content across the board. Hey, that's plenty impressive. Like, I'd argue most people tend to give up before they even get a normal 1cc. Or maybe they get, like, a normal 1cc and then they're like, okay, my work crew is done. I love letting him get the second wave off. Yeah, but if I mean, that's always the nature of most things, though, right? If you, dude, what is wrong with me? and the fucking wall fairies. That's one of the things with a lot of games, right? When if you look at like the smallest percentage of like the best players, you know, it can really be like, wow, they make this look so easy. It makes me look dog shit. That's like most games, right? In reality, it's just, you know, two almost completely different things, right? Sheer efforts or struggles. No, always, fuck, I can't speak right now. Always compare yourself to others and feel inferior or superior. I did the unforgivable action of this attack, and then go to the bottom of the screen. Always build up an inferiority complex or god complex based on how you are compared to other people. Damn, it's fucking sick-ass wave 2 there. Just a clean jump through. That's the thing, if you want to do an LNN grind, you kind of... You know, not everyone's necessarily interested in Touhou enough or an LNN grind enough to sit down and, you know, spend hundreds of hours into stages and such. I mean, of course, like, it's a progression, but, like, regardless if you're 1cc to an LNN, or if you're just getting into it to an LNN, like, at some point you gotta sit down and like, play the game and be like, hey, is this something I want to spend a couple hundred hours into to, like, get good? Well, most of the vocal part of the gameplay scene. Touhou is dominated greatly by a lot of non-gameplay elements. Its Dojin spirit is one of the things that makes Touhou so popular, like, across the board. But in the gameplay scene, you're gonna see a lot of the, you know, LNN players and such. Because most Touhou players don't touch the games, or they do and they get their normal, like I said, they get their normal 1cc, and they say, okay, that's good enough for me. And then they go move on and engage with other things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But most of the people who are, you know, who are in the gameplay scene are here for, you know, this type of raw gameplay, and a lot of them tend to be the players who stick around in that regard, or the players are a lot of the lunatic players. A better term. Once you see the 6-month grind, yeah. From when I started playing Touhou, because I went normal 1cc, hard 1cc, lunatic 1cc, it was about a year. It was like 10 months, I think. Ah, fuck! I keep being too slow. Play lunatic. I mean, I stopped playing Touhou for, you know, fairly regularly. I only play it incredibly sporadically over the course of like 2 years, and when I got back to it, eventually I just reached a point where I was like, you know, I just gotta fucking sit down and commit to it. And that's the other thing. Like, if you want to go for the harder difficulties, like, I play them and I love them, generally speaking. But again, it's a grind, and I think you gotta You got to start off on normal and, you know, start to pick up, hey, is this the type of thing I want to actually do? No. You should... If you see someone who did the grind faster than you, you should feel bad and give up on life itself. That's definitely how that works, right? Build inferiority complex because of the actions of other people compared to you. That's how it should clearly work. Look into other channels and it's harder than LNN. I don't know. I mean, we all know that clown piece on normal is clearly harder than lunatic, so. Ooh, I didn't cancel well. One thing I like about streaming that surprised me is just a lot of the more tedious parts of this grind I've just been able to have fun with. Guys are so sick in a good way. I think they're pretty cool patterns, generally speaking. I don't think they're not like, oh, I wouldn't call them like super flashy or like, I don't think I'd call them sick. I don't think I'd see him be like, yo, that pattern's sick, but they're cool. Well, at least her nons are pretty cool. Okay, we clear normal. So, see, yeah, I mean, because I started with USD, and I started on normal. I would have probably started on easy, but the simple fact of the matter is, unfortunately for USD, because Zoom decides he hates us, you can only play through stage 5. So I started on normal, and I spent you know, a good few months, and eventually got the normal in CC. And then I moved up to hard, and guess what? It was another few months to get the hard 1cc. In fact, I think it might have taken me longer to get the hard 1cc, to go from the normal 1cc to the hard 1cc, than to go from not having a 1cc to getting a normal one. And then after that, I decided to move up to Lunatic. Because, as kind of questionable as they may be, that was my goal from getting into Touhou. Like, one thing I got into Touhou for was music, and the other thing is I got into it with the sake of being like, I want LNN. So then I moved up to Lunatic. I spent another several months getting a 1cc. And this would have been 2018, 2019. And it wasn't until last year when I finally got my last Lunatic 1cc, and I was like, okay, time to start the LNN grind. And it's been over a year of me grinding LNNs, and I've gotten 2. You know, I'm probably closer to having a third one right now than not, but started playing. I mean, I'll say this straight up. When I started, the very first thing I did was I was like, let me play a Lunatic just to see how it feels, and I got my ass kicked. And then I went to normal. I was like, okay, let's be reasonable and go to normal. Like, there's so much going on Lunatic that if you don't know what you're looking for and you're not comfortable with it, it's super overwhelming to the point where you're like, this feels impossible. And that's one of the things I feel about, you know, playing on normal and hard is that you even if you're not like picking up on like routes and like be able to like learn, oh, this is you know, patterns for this. It's like you just start to pick up on a lot of just generally good abilities to help with Touhou. Like you get a feel for controlling getting a good feel for controlling your character is a big deal. Being comfortable with your positioning, especially like getting better at just reading attacks, looking for dodges. Yukari Arts, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Rumia, dude. Like I said, on Lunatic, I fucking get my ass kicked by Rumia. I couldn't read Demarcation to save my life. I struggled more against Demarcation than, honestly, I probably did against most of Cheerno. Well, even almost made Ling to that regard. Not that's half true, but like 50%. I have played. I do have a Lunatic 1cc of all 5 PC 98 games. In fact, I'd say that Touhou 3 is probably my favorite Touhou game. And yes, I did both routes and highly responsive to prayers, Lunatic 1cc. How about you, Alan? Have you done that? Did you 1cc both routes and highly responsive to prayers? No, fake fan. Fake Touhou fan. Unbelievable. Obviously, if you're going to learn Touhou, you got to start with the first game of the series, so anyone who wants to get into Touhou, you got to start with highly responsive to prayers. Eek! I love this attack. I love this attack. There's a lot you can get from watching things. I mean, a lot of people. Well, okay, a lot of like some of the LNN players will literally sit down and watch their own replay, and you can learn from doing that. Proper dodging looks like. I mean, a lot of it is just trying to get a feel for what you're looking at. You know, it's easy to be mesmerized by things, but if you sit down and watch other people, it's a lot easier on a lot of attacks to just, like, focus on a single part, and it can even help you get, like, a better feel for, oh, this is how this works. Oh, Do not do any of my Stage 2 routing in this game. None of the Stage 2 routing I have in this game is optimal. It's purely for score. Like, everything I do during that middle section there, I route it out not because it's the safest approach, but because it's optimal for score. Damn, 408? Holy moly. Pretty good faith run right now. Also, if you play Touhou, you're actually morally obligated to play as homing shot types. Every other shot type is fake news. Especially big needle propaganda. Don't listen to them. What's happening? Yes, I mean, there's a degree where it's like watching things can help you pick things out, but then you also have to spend a lot of time with it, right? You have to spend a lot of time, like, playing and picking up on that, and then you can watch and be like, oh, you pick up more things, you dance around. Like, you know, you can't just watch, but it can help. Scarlet. I will give you a pass on Scarlet Team because it's because Remy's involved, so I'll give you a pass there. Who does Scarlet Team fight, Marissa or Reimu? Reimu, okay. Didn't read along. Bro's treating this like book club. Shows up reading. Helps. Yeah, but to be fair with like learning via like that, I feel like you have to be at a point where you're comfortable enough with Touhou, because otherwise there's just so much going on that I had that. That was free, and I just moved way too much to the left. All I have to do is like tap to the left and I just go, what? But I feel like there's a point where like for like watching where you need to have enough experience to like know what you're looking at. Right? Like say okay, yeah, but what's your definition of at least okay? Yeah, I was kind of okay after I got, like, my 5th LNN. I look at 25% rate on books. I guess that's okay. Alan's gonna have a kid someday. He's gonna be like, I got a 90% of this test. Fucking, not 95. What the fuck? I guess that's okay. 90%. It's decent, I guess. Three times. Well, that's just where you go. Or that's just where the obvious approach is say, just get good, right? Come on. I jest. Reimu's got some wonky patterns. They're free. Yeah, that's true. Anything that you can live is free. If you die to something, it's actually the hardest thing in the game. So I Peerless Wind God in this game's actually free. And clearly, oh, you fucky what though? When I thank you, game. I love bumper crop sometimes. Bumper crop is free when it's not disgusting. Miriko once again on her way to bend me over and have her way with me. Not nice, I tell you. I consider free. I generally speaking, I will always say if I say the word free, I'm being ironic, because I generally never believe anything's free. The closest thing I could say to being free in this game is Konako Knock 2. but generally speaking, I don't. I actively very much dislike the term free, and I generally only use it as a joke. You know, it's free. Victoria doesn't move down. So true. But Makuka Sai 3. If it's a fan game shmup, then I have no clue about it. Is that the sequel to Touhou Skibidi Riz Baby Grind? Whatever it was. Bunch of words thrown together. Bunch of letters. Why did I go for that gap? You know, I had like my up to Momichi stuff today, but like. This attack's literally free as long as it's not free. Or as long as it isn't not free. Yeah, I can't even make a joke properly. My words aren't good right now. Speaking is hard. Oh, we're in the middle first. Next for Gore. Pick those up early. I was like 2,000 more faith than I should have. Still, 339 here is pretty damn good. It means that after the cancel, you can hit above 400. You know, crazy stuff. No, UFC normal's free. Why? Because I said so. Yeah, UFC normal was also my first. Hey, Alan, you played UM. What's your opinion on the Sanyo fight for a stage 3 boss? About this just because it just came to mind right now. I hate her. Well, I was just thinking because for whatever reason just came to mind, and I just thought about like, oh yeah, you do have an LNN in and like what? Because when I think of I'm like stage 1 and 2 don't really stand out to me, and stage 6 I don't have a good memory of, but like 3, 4, and 5. First, I really like the Megumu and Misamaru fight. And I remember specifically, like, being like, man, Sanyo is rough. Stage 3 boss. Now, that was 1cc practice. That was also, like, over a year ago at this point. And so I was like, huh. I know I've like talked about like Misumaru and I think probably Megumu around you. But I don't know if I've ever asked you your opinion on Sanyo. Because I remember playing the game and hearing people talk about how, like, I remember some people in here being like, man, Sanyo kind of sucks. But I don't know if but like I was like, I don't know if I've ever actually heard from you on Sanyo. It's not Kagero. Well, obviously, Kagero's Kagero. It's okay. I love the Misumaru fight. Misumaru's spells are some of my favorite. I love those spells. Act a Human. And I also really like the Megumu fight. I love Hydro. I also got pretty good at Jimbo, so because I spent a good bit practicing him. Love the soundtrack. I hate it. It's the worst. I like the soundtrack. Oh yeah, I spent a while routing Jimbo. That's Stage 4 and Stage 5 I spent a lot of practice on. Contrast that to Stage 6, which I literally only ever played once, and that was in the middle of a run. And I just kind of like bombed my way through almost all of it. You're just speaking gibberish. Juyu Jiteki no Yukarin. I speak English. I don't speak Japanese. Oh, let me look at this. Damn, what I think. Oh yeah, I've seen. I guess I can't say see. I know of this game. Can't say I've seen it myself. It sure is. I know, unfortunately. Dude, it's a shame that Twitch doesn't allow hentai content, otherwise I'd stream so many of the Touhou games. Unbelievable, dude. Literally 1984. I should take a water break in a minute. That's what I really should do. The best cancels I've ever seen. Or I'll get Alan into Era TW someday. Era TW. One of the biggest Touhou porn games on the market. Touhou TW, stands for the Touhou the World. Right after I play Honey Pop on stream. Oh, now you're feigning ignorant. Oh, I've never heard of. I know nothing of those games. Oh, that's. You spelled it right. You're clearly not a fan if you spelled Honey Pop wrong. No, and obviously, no, I'm not going to play them on stream. That would, first of all, it's not Touhou content. Second of all, Twitch doesn't really like that. I did Nuzlocke the first game. I have tried Nuzlocking the second game, but the second one's a lot harder. So I have not successfully... I got like 2/3 of the way through before I lost the run in the second game. Octo edition. We gotta get on this. Hold on. I gotta contact some devs right now. Hold up a second. Honey Pop is one of the worst games in existence. And the reason I say this is because of what the type of game is. Because I love its gameplay. It's such a fun game to play. But you say that, and everyone's like, whoa, okay, sure, buddy. On my way to do the worst gaps in Ogane. I've been pretty good about doing bad gaps in Ogane lately, but not that time. I try them. Well, that's fair. Most of them are pretty dog shit, generally speaking. There are some surprisingly good ones, but it could be hard to get access to, or hard to find. I'm gonna go get some water. I'll be back, and I'll do some more in a sec. Grew up exiling Maydol. My micros are just not on point right now for Exile. don't have to go that far over to the side. No, I'm not going to get my early fairy. Minus 100 faith. That might have been early. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Still at 214, which is pretty damn good. Even though I am minus 2k. Are you boo-boo? Rico's been very frisky today, and I don't like that. Unfortunate movements she gave me. We're trying to get the speed kill. Hey, we got the early fairy that time. Let's go. Oh, I picked up too much. And I lost the 100 faith. Oh my gosh. Pretty good cancel. That's like 7,000, just over 7,000. Like, I think like 8,000 faith is about is like the max you can kind of get on non-1. Where's the best spot to cancel this attack? That's a really good question. Definitely not her up in the corner. That's definitely not true. But non-2 doesn't have as good of a cancel spot as non-1. I still got myself at 34. So at that point, yeah. Well, the problem is, that's not even like that. I mean, it definitely would be like the way technically, but Score Runners bomb on a lot of the nons for the sake of canceling with those. So their plays for optimizing faith scores and stuff are just a lot different. Damn, 344.8 right now. That's pretty damn good. Should put me at 410. Or 1007. Nice. Re 73.7? Damn, that's on the higher end of what I usually get. Like, I think my best going into Hina is like 74 flat. Approximately. 74 something, I know, is the best I've gotten going into her. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try here. No practice. I just. It's not my moment right now. I wish I could blame it on you. I could probably still find a way to blame it on you, but I won't. I'll spare you for now. Say that my brain has been half out of it like all day. I mean, I got 2 paces to Momiji. I can't complain that much. Not every day is going to be as good as yesterday. No early ferry. This is the worst day ever. Yeah, it was like a 7K per, yeah, just shy, so it was like 6.5, 6.6. It's pretty good. Ooh, that was a really good cancel. Where do I want to try for this one? Not there. That's what I did last time, except she was lower, so at least I got 3K instead of 2K. I should probably try just after she shoots the red. Maybe I can get like 4 to 5K. $235 going into this stage is pretty damn good, though. Yeah, I had more faith going into the stage, man. Basically identical with last run. Still pretty good. It's all about this cancel. Although that cancel's basically always identical. Yeah, I'm basically the same exact score. Could be 410. Which is still really, really good. Having a 410 coming out of Hina mid is pretty solid. Anytime I can be 60 million score at this fairy is very good score-wise. $73.9? Okay, actually even better than last run? I'm gonna say I'm gonna do it again. Let's see if it'll actually work. I almost walked right into that ball. I'm just not. It worked! For now. And now I get to be a little bit higher than I normally would be at this point. Extra 3 mil. Which is clearly very important. Why was there that one red bullet for no reason? There's just no red bullet on the left, fucking going to the right, just like, hey guys, I'm over here, just because I fucking feel like it. What if I crisscrossed over for no fucking good reason? Ogane once again proving to be the hardest spell in the run. Ugh. You just gotta take a breather. Wait, what the fuck is this? Hold up. Got something on my desk. I can't find it. It's... Okay. Sure, we come back from base. Surely. A early parry, let's go. Except right now that you don't get a ton of cancel on the second non. Ooh, that was a bad cancel. I'm only down like 8,000 faith or something. Like only like 17k from like my last couple runs. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I need to be mint scoring. Maybe that's actually how you should play survival. You gotta go for the minimum score possible. You should be ignoring every single point item. That's a hitbox moment. Okay, surely this time there's no rogue red bullet for no reason. See, sometimes stage 2 goes well and sometimes it doesn't. The difference between today and yesterday. Like, you can say stage 4 is as hard as you need it to, but stage 2 is the most important part of the game. Yeah, bro, I'm running out of Steam game. I guess you should rate for the red bullets, because that was like 4.3. Okay, game! This... I'm not playing well, and this game does not want to give me a break right now. Great. Give me a recomp running out of one mores. You know, it's reached that time of the day when I can't do spell 1 properly. You know what? Let's just I'm just gonna lose my mind if I keep going. Let's just say we'll be back tomorrow for more.